Howdy doody, me again, little flashlight in the darkness, that firefly trying to go, wee hoo, go this way. So anyways, there's this girl reminded me today, she's probably like 7, I think. And she kept going, Miss Sheena, I can't do it. And as she's trying, she's telling me she can't. And she goes, oh, I did it. And I said, you have to believe in yourself. That's really all it comes down to. You practice and you believe in yourself. And it was her trying to skip rope. And a lot of these kids are not doing like we used to do. But of course, we didn't have electronics galore, bad food in the house all the time, maybe lazy parents, people that are dealing with their own issues, so they're not showing their kids the way because possibly they forgot the way. But like I said, this little girl reminded me to remind you, you just have to believe in yourself. If you can't believe in anything else, believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, there's no way anything is going to work out for you. Because what you say to yourself is the one thing that is what you believe. You can sit there and go, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm stupid. And because you've been told this your whole life, you'll believe this. If you tell yourself, I'm creative, I'm empowered, I'm capable, you're going to be these things. Because remember, spell work is the words you speak. And you don't even have to speak them out loud when you're speaking to yourself. It's an energetic level that you're on. Also sending that vibe to other people. You don't even have to verbalize because the power of thought, those words are already manifesting. So whatever you're putting out into the world, if you see somebody, what the fuck's wrong with them? You're going to meet that same resistance in your life because that's what you're putting out. If you're putting out static, you're going to get back static. If you're putting out confusion and lies, you're going to get back confusion and lies. And I just read earlier, the one thing about telling the truth is you'll never have to remember what you said because the truth doesn't change. And we have to remember that. What we tell ourselves, truths or lies, no matter what it is, you're going to believe it. You're going to believe that people are going to hurt you if you go around hurting people. You're going to believe people are going to use you if you go around using people. If you're manipulative, you're a pawn in your own game. So the best thing you can do is to open up your heart, see the world for not the badness in it, because I remember those days when it was always cloudy, there was no colors from the flowers, there was not really even any breeze on a stifling hot day. And I mean, I've lived in the desert in a tent because that's what my toxic relationship ended up bringing me to. Me hanging on to someone so bad going, but I'm supposed to be with them. I chose to be with them. Never choosing myself. And yes, being homeless is never fun, especially when you have 2 kids and a dog doing it with you. Having to manipulate the situation in such a way that they never realized what they were enduring until they got older, and then they realized, oh wow, that should have been tough. But at the same time, they were gaining their strength because I wasn't highlighting the fact. I wasn't fighting with their dad in front of them about how dare you put us in this situation. How dare you put us in a house that doesn't even have running water. I remember the time when I had a burner plate. It wasn't used to make waffles because we didn't have anything to make waffles, but it was used to make a big stock pot and fill it up with water and boil it and take all day long to get baths with this much water in there. I had dreads down to here at that time. It is not easy to clean your dreads in that much water. Either way it went, I didn't look at the suffering of the situation. I had to look at, this is temporary. And I've even had to teach my kids the concept of it being temporary. Doesn't mean momentary. Temporary can be a year. Temporary can be 10 years. It's a matter of, it's going to change. It's not a whole lifetime. It's not your total existence. Sorry, my nose is itching. So when it comes down to it, once again, like I said, you have to learn to believe in yourself. I can tell you right now without knowing any of you, but feeling the energy that I feel off of you, you have the desire to grow. You have the desire to better your life. You have the desire for that genuine love that you felt at some point in your life, something that's lacking in your life. You're trying to find it again. And it's like searching for a needle in a haystack, especially in the world we exist in. Because more people will turn their nose up to you than will reach out a hand to help you. I've been broken down on the side of the road before, whole family, and no one stops. Going by at high speeds, never even considering. Maybe they need help. Maybe those kids need to get out of that heat. Also had no expectation for that to occur in my life, because I genuinely believed at that time all people were bad. At one point, my ex had me believing that he was trying to save me. He had me so warped in my head that he had me believe that I was super special and that the government just wanted to get a hold of me so they could pick my brain apart and find my essence. And that led me to cling to him. The devil played the greatest trick, making me believe that he was my supporter, that he cared, that he loved me. All the while dragging me further and further into hell, laughing inside, laughing in my face at times. Never supporting me. Watching me work my hands to the bone. Watching my health diminish. Watching our children put their heads down in fear or cowering down and backing away because they did not want to be the next target. And they became the target when I was too sick for him to pick at. And it's funny, somebody that's toxic will tear you down to build you up, to knock you down. And they're on this miniature pony thinking they're on a high horse. Never even realizing the reality of who they are. If it weren't for everybody else fearing them. Those bullies I was talking about a couple videos ago. If they didn't have that power over people, they wouldn't have any power at all. But the funny thing is, we're the only ones giving them power. You can choose to stand back and watch as people do things that you're like, it shocks you in horror, but you don't stand up. It's like watching a house on fire knowing you could go in because it's not that bad, and you choose not to because you don't want to risk your own life, your own safety. And say it's an orphanage. None of them are capable of helping themselves. And if we can look at the world as more of a place that we can help one another, believe in miracles, make those miracles happen, we can begin to change the style in which we present ourselves. We don't need any more trashy. I went from trashy to trashy classy to now abundant, empowered. You're not going to come taint my energy. Just like there's a difference between judgmental and protective. And a lot of people will tell me, you're judgmental. You say so-and-so, you judge this and don't let your kids do that. And like I tell them, that's not being judgmental, that's being protective. Me as a parent has to decide because I've seen how the world functions. I've seen, and it's not me looking at it from a negative or wounded mindset. It is the reality of the situation. And those that sit there and tell you that you're being judgmental, often those are the ones you need to stay away from. Because those are the ones that are going to tell you, oh, you want to sit here and say this and that, but then you turn around and do this and that, but they're pulling out something from 20 years ago, 30 years ago, who you were, not who you are. We have to start understanding that to get to the reality of who we are, we have to let go of who we've been. And when we hang around people that only know who we were and won't even focus on who we are, there's no growth in that relationship, and that relationship becomes toxic and helps you stay stagnant. What is the only thing that grows in stagnation? Toxicity. Things begin to fester. You can watch it with a pond that turns into a bog. It eventually goes belly up. And when it goes belly up, the thing that comes from that is atrocious. Like the nastiest of the nastiest. You can see all the life that was in there turn to the top, and the stench is overwhelming. I only know this because there was a man that had a pond next to my house, and as soon as it went belly up, he left town and left us with the stench right outside of our door. So there's things in life you can look at, you can witness and correlate it into making life make sense for you. It doesn't mean focus on the negative, no. But it does hopefully give you the ability to start witnessing things that will help you empower yourself. Because if you do not empower yourself, you are allowing others to abuse you, manipulate you, confuse you, keep you in toxicity. Don't stay in that toxicity, because then you become a part of the bog. Don't go belly up. You can't give that kind of power to somebody else. I mean, you can. I chose that at one point. And I'm sure a lot of other people have chose that at one point. You know, I put out the video about addiction, and a lot of people are opening up. And I'm so proud of you. I'm sending you love and light, because it is not easy for one to admit you've ever been in that moment of release of control within yourself, but not in a positive manner. That thing that drove you to feel so desperate that you had to sedate because you didn't even know you needed to heal. Because it's hard to know that you need to heal when you live in a world that wants you to stay toxic. It's like this constant flip of a light and a switch that keeps you confused. But that confusion doesn't always have to be there. You have to lift the veil. You have to begin to see the reality of what you're surrounding yourself with. And like I said, that will lead to a life of intermission. I won't even call it loneliness, because when you're alone, that's when you will find yourself. But you need that intermission. You need that moment to collect your thoughts, to reorganize the chemistry of your body, to detox, to allow yourself to get back to a starting point. Because there's no point in keep going in a cycle that's never ending when you can simply make the choice to start again. And the thing you have to remember is when you start again, you're not starting over. You have lessons you've learned. You have guidance that if you can call upon those moments of misery, confusion, fear, anger, hate, jealousy, whatever it was for you, lack. When you can call on those moments, you can begin to go, I can do it different. And it's just a tweak of a step. It's just choosing to not repeat the pattern. Because Albert Einstein says, to continue to do the same thing and expect a different outcome, that is insanity. You are not insane. The world may tell you you're insane because they're insane. And as you want to heal and grow, you're not like them anymore. You don't fit anymore. But when you act like them, they don't look at you and go, you're insane. Why? Because they're fucking insane. And it is okay to check out of the mental institution called life, society. It is okay to get in alignment with yourself. And like I said, as you do this, the other mental patients will be like, no, but we like white coats. No, we like people to tell us what to do. No, we don't have minds of our own. We're not creative. We can't do those things. Who told you you can't fucking do those things? You can do whatever the hell you want. Because like I told you before, every choice is yours to make. Sure, there might be disciplinary actions that come on the backside, but at the same time, there might be rewards. Who are you to judge what it's going to be if you don't find the courage to take the step and try? Because even Martin Luther King Jr. will say, there are man's laws and there are God's laws. I would rather break man's law and take a punishment than to break God's law. And then you face a ever-ending, never-ending life of craziness. And no, I did not say the exact words that he says, because honestly, I don't recall the exact words he said. But it put an impact on my life that made me understand just because I'm fighting a system doesn't mean I'm wrong. Because in that part, when you can look at, you have two options here. You can allow the people that are insane to govern you, or you can allow the Most High that gave you the mind to think for yourself to govern you. Because the punishments are so much different. You might find yourself caged in this world and being mistreated beyond all means. But in the end of that unlawful jailing, you may find yourself so blessed that your captors now will be punished. Karma is very real. Sometimes it's instantaneously. Sometimes it takes a lifetime. Sometimes it's repeated for the next lifetime. You don't know who's going through what. You don't know the truth because most people will not tell you the truth of their failures. Most people will not tell you their true sufferings. They may come to you and want you to sympathize with them because maybe they need money or maybe they just want attention. It doesn't matter what it is. People will only tell you what they want you to know. It doesn't mean you even know a morsel of the truth of their life. Some people are so overridden with debt and walk around like they're millionaires, never realizing none of that fucking matters. The greatest gifts in life that make you wealthy, that's your health. That's the thing that allows you to keep moving on without needing help from an outside source to give you the ability to keep going. You do that for yourself. That's not preventative maintenance. Through keeping your mind healthy, through keeping your body healthy, from lifting up your spirit and raising your vibration. Because there's illnesses in this world that we endure, that dis-ease. When you go to a white coat, y'all call them doctors, I call them white coats. When you go visit one of these people, their intention is not to heal you. It's not to kill you, but a lot of times they can't even tell you what you're sick from because it's not something in a physical form. They'll even tell you you're not sick, you're crazy. But it's because it's a spiritual ailment, not a physical. And you have to find a different practitioner that can actually help you with that. Somebody that has been through the fire, somebody who has walked through the spiritual crisis in which you're going through. A white coat cannot help you with that. What can they do? They can give you medication to sedate you, to get you to stop questioning that there's something wrong with you. But all they've done is cease your healing, your true healing. Because this is temporary. This whole facade called human life, it's temporary. But like I said, the energetic side, the spiritual side, is the side that continues on. No, you won't have any remembrance of who you were, but the fact is you'll still continue to be what you are. But you can't get to that healing, taking out the flecks of dust, the thorn out of your eye, if you seek the wrong help. Because it's just like praying. How do you know who's answering you? You can be praying to devils and thinking that it's angelic guidance. And you have to learn to use that intuition to tell you, that doesn't seem like good direction. That doesn't seem beneficial. If I do that, I'm running straight into oncoming traffic. That does not seem like it will save my life. So you have to start using that discernment. Open your heart up in prayer. Allow yourself to let it come back to you. And that takes patience. That takes faith. That takes blind faith. And believing that you are where you need to be, with who you need to be. And sometimes you are having to be tested if you have the courage and strength to say, this is not for me anymore. Because the more you want to heal, the more you want to grow and change, the more you're going to find controversy, blockages, hurdles, things that are meant to slow you down. And sometimes because you're going way too fast. It's like a speed bump. Never knowing that you're about to hit an intersection and that, bam, it could stop you in a heartbeat. Because once again, we are human and we run through life almost like it's a woo, fields and daisies and one big party. But it's that mindset that has got us stuck. Believing that the insane asylum is normal. It's not normal. It is an accepted norm. There's a difference. We have normalized accepting toxic behavior and shunning and putting down things that empower you. That all boils down to a greedy, corrupt system that wants to profit off of your sheer existence. If they can do it in this lifetime, they can do it in another lifetime. Always leaving you enslaved to the devil and never allowing you to open up to the true nature of how powerful you are. Like I've said several times, and I'll keep reminding you, look at our ancestors. Look at the predecessors that were here before we were. You will find monuments out of this world. They built something out of community. to show reverence to something greater than themselves, possibly to remind us that there is always something greater than yourself. Acknowledge that. Praise that. Bring it into your being. Once you can understand you're part of something that is greater than you, you will not be tied to something that is lesser than you, because there's two ways to go. Some call it heaven, some call it hell. The way I look at it is we're in purgatory to figure out what actions are you taking, which levels are you taking, and which way are you choosing to go. Because it all's still going to go like this until you can figure out, I have a choice. Do I believe in myself? Do I let others define me? Do I allow myself to embrace the greatness within myself, or do I allow others to blow out my candle, hiding my light? Do I allow the insane to keep governing, or do I stand up and present a better option for a brighter future? There's always choices. You have to just start asking yourself, what do you believe in and what are you willing to fight for? And like I said in the very beginning, the one thing you should always believe in is you. Because you're here to be great. You are great. That's why you're here. So I'm going to leave it on that note. Kisses, loves, lights. Peace out. Bye-bye.